everyone! Today we're diving into a really interesting question. What exactly is Evangelion? This mysterious theme is what makes Neon Genesis Evangelion so fascinating. To truly understand Neon Genesis Evangelion, it's important to grasp the relationships between the characters and the nature of the Evangelions themselves. This video will be intriguing for those who have never seen Evangelion before, and for longtime fans, it may reveal something new. This is part 2 of a 3-part series. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, be sure to check it out first. Chapter 1: Characters and Relationships. Now, let me introduce the characters and their relationships. First, the pilot Shinji Ikari, 14 years old. He's our main character and the son of Gendo Ikari, whom I'll introduce later. His mother is Yu Ikari, who passed away during the development testing of Nelf's new weapons. Shinji Ikari lost his mother at age 3 and was immediately left with his grandfather, growing up with just the two of them until he was 14. Then suddenly at 14, Shinji Ikari is summoned by his father, forced to join NERV and become a pilot of their combat weapon. Growing up without parents made Shinji Ikari introverted, unable to make friends. But after this, he gradually learns to communicate with NERV members and his school classmates. He learns how to interact with friends and struggles with understanding adults' ways of thinking. The series realistically depicts his gradual process of emotional maturation. Hideki Anno has commented that Neon Genesis Evangelion is the story of Shinji Ikari's growth. Next is Anami, 14 years old. She was already fighting as a NERV pilot when the story began. She's a very mysterious girl. As the story progresses, it's revealed that she's a clone of Shinji Ikari's mother, Yu Ikari. As a clone, Anami gradually begins to develop emotions like anger and sadness. If a clone grows exactly like a human, what's the difference between humans and clones? Should clones be objects of human love? Ultimately, what does it mean to be human? Despite being a children's anime, Evangelion includes many such philosophical elements. This becomes one reason why it later captivated so many fans. Next is Asuka Langley Soryu, 14 years old. Asuka was the ace pilot from NERV's German branch. Following organizational orders, Asuka came to Japan, and with her exceptional athletic ability and intelligence, she quickly became a star here too. However, her mental state crumbles after a defeat in battle she participated in. Also, Asuka carries deep trauma from her relationship with her mother in childhood, which later triggers her self-denial. While she had a very bright personality at the start of the anime, by the latter half of the story, she changes to the point of losing her humanity. Meanwhile, Anami, who is a clone, gradually gains humanity. Conversely, Asuka, who is human, gradually loses her humanity. This contrast makes the depiction of humanity even more real. Next is Misaru Katsueju, 29 years old. She is NERV's strategy planning manager and also serves as the pilot's commander during battles. She voluntarily takes on the role of Shinji Ikari's guardian while struggling with making children fight in wars and the weight of her own responsibilities. She continues to win battles. In corporate terms, she's middle management. It's very difficult to align the thoughts of superiors, oneself, and subordinates. Even when thoughts don't align, projects must be carried out. She grows by gradually clearing these hurdles. The series realistically depicts the worries that anyone who works faces. This is one reason why Evangelion gained many adult fans. Next is Ritsuko Akagi, 30 years old, a scientist at NERV and the development chief of the special combat weapon Evangelion. Ritsuko Akagi's mother was also a scientist at NERV. Through doing the same work as her mother, Ritsuko Akagi comes to know three aspects of her mother: as a scientist, as a mother, and as a woman. Learning this, Ritsuko Akagi begins to despise her mother. However, she realizes that she herself has the same way of thinking as her mother, and so Ritsuko Akagi begins to despise herself. Furthermore, she falls in love with the same person her mother loved. She develops increasing self-loathing as she becomes more and more like the mother she despises. Misaru Katsureji and Ritsuko Akagi are college classmates and NERV colleagues. The series very realistically shows how former close friends develop clear differences in thinking through their work. Lastly, let me introduce Jendo Ikari, 48 years old. He's NERV's director and Shinji Ikari's father. In other words, he's in the position of overall commander in the fight to prevent human extinction. Fighting requires enormous funding. Therefore, ULA is the organization providing NERV with operational funding. ULA is an organization providing funding for human extinction and holds immense power. Jendo Ikari must produce the results ULA wants to secure the funding necessary for NERV's operations. It's very similar to the relationship between Ukraine's President Zelensky and the US Congress. And as the story progresses, it's revealed that Jendo Ikari has aims completely different from NERV's and ULA's objectives. How does one use an organization to achieve personal goals? Evangelion realistically depicts even things like this. Evangelion contains many depictions related to human nature. These depictions include unequally Japanese humanity and personality traits. Neon Genesis Evangelion might be an animation through which you can learn about Japanese character. Evangelion has many other beloved characters too. I'll introduce them another time. Chapter 2. What exactly is Evangelion? At first glance, the combat weapons in Evangelion look like robots. However, as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that they are not robots but artificial humans. The official name of Evangelion is Multipurpose Humanoid Decisive Weapon, Artificial Human Evangelion. In traditional anime, it was common to see robots, fighter jets, or aliens, fantastical beings that possessed abilities entirely different from humans. But when we hear the term artificial human, we often associate it with medical and philosophical concepts. In Evangelion, these artificial humans are depicted in an extremely philosophical and abstract manner. When the TV series originally aired, most of its viewers were between 10 and 15 years old. For them, even the idea of powerful robots was difficult to comprehend. However, Neon Genesis Evangelion presents artificial humans in a highly realistic way, and this is one of the key reasons why the series became so popular. Let's take a closer look at how Evangelion explores the concept of artificial humans. Evangelions can only be controlled when their pilot establishes a neural connection with them. Unlike traditional mechas, they are not operated with control panels or joysticks. Instead, the pilot's thoughts are directly transmitted to the Evangelion through their nervous system. The degree to which a pilot and an Evangelion are synchronized is called the synchronization rate sync ratio. The word synchronization was not widely used in Japanese at the time, but today it has become a common term in various contexts. An Evangelion is essentially a biological body. However, since it is artificially created, it cannot move on its own. To function, each Evangelion must house the soul of a deceased person. Moreover, that soul must be the mother of the pilot. To clarify, an Evangelion meant for human use must contain a soul. On the other hand, reanime, a clone who is considered an entity similar to an Evangelion, can pilot an Evangelion that lacks a soul. However, she cannot pilot an Evangelion that already contains a soul. Meanwhile, Koeru Nagisa, who is nearly identical to an Evangelion, can pilot any Evangelion, regardless of whether it has a soul or not. Despite being an artificial human, an Evangelion does not have a heart. This is because humanity lacked the technology to create a functional heart when they developed the Evangelions. As a result, Evangelions rely on electricity as their power source. To put it simply, they are forced to function through continuous electrical stimulation, similar to constant defibrillation. However, there are two special cases in which an Evangelion can move without an external power source. The first case is when an Evangelion hijacks the pilot's heart to sustain its movement. When the soul of the mother inside the Evangelion senses that her child is in danger, she unconsciously moves to protect them. In a life-threatening emergency where there is no power source, the mother soul forcibly uses the pilot's heart to activate the Evangelion. This state is referred to as berserk mode. The second case is when an Evangelion absorbs another being's heart, similar to a heart transplant. In episode 19, there is a scene where an Evangelion acquires a heart by consuming that of an enemy. Now, let's take a look at the main Evangelion units that appear in the series. Evangelion Unit 00 is the prototype Evangelion. Its designated pilot is reanime. It was initially tested without a soul, leading to a disastrous accident. When Ikari, Shinji Ikari's mother, attempted to synchronize with it. Since reanime is a clone with no soul, she is capable of piloting an Evangelion that lacks a soul. Evangelion Unit 1 is the test-type Evangelion, one step away from being fully operational. Its designated pilot is Shinji Ikari. Evangelion Unit 1 houses the soul of Shinji's mother, Ikari. The failed experiment with Unit 00 proved that having no soul made piloting impossible. This failure led to improvements that ultimately resulted in the first Evangelion capable of being piloted by a human. Evangelion Unit 2 was the first fully completed Evangelion. Its designated pilot is Asuka Langley Soryu. Evangelion Unit 2 contains the soul of Asuka's mother, Kyoko Zeppelin Soryu. Unitone and Unit 2 are depicted as contrasts throughout the series. An Evangelion's power is deeply connected to the emotional bond between the mother's soul and the pilot. Shinji Ikari holds positive memories of his mother from when she was alive and feels that she loved him. This is why, despite having little training, he was able to produce outstanding results in battle from his very first time piloting an Evangelion. On the other hand, Asuka has traumatic memories related to her mother. Because of this, despite her exceptional talent, she struggles to synchronize with Unit 2 and cannot perform well in battle. A person's relationship with their mother in childhood can strongly influence their emotional and psychological development, and that, in turn, affects their performance in life. Neon Genesis Evangelion explores this profound human being, depicting it in a way that leaves a lasting impression on the audience. What did you think? One of the defining features of Evangelion is its deep exploration of the human experience. Because of this, each viewer interprets the story differently, making it a truly unique experience for everyone. Next time will be the final episode of this series. Don't miss it! Service! Service!